say hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our second cryptocurrency class. Our presenter tonight is Alex Eaton, who also presented the first one. As I said last time, he is the co-founder of the San Antonio Crypto Network and the host of the Be Libre podcast, and an expert in cryptocurrency, which is why we love him. So thank you, Alex, for joining us and for teaching this class for us.
Always, of course. All right. Can I go?
Whenever you're ready.
All right.
Take it away.
Share my screen ready. Here we go. Share screen. Help me out. Make sure it's on the right one. Are we good?
I can see it.
All right. Perfect. All right. So if you were here about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago for the first class, that was all about how Bitcoin works, cryptocurrencies work, digital currency works, blockchain, all that stuff that is not so useful for most people, but it's a really good primer to start to understand why people get so excited and why what I'm about to show you now exists. This class is all about the infrastructure of cryptocurrency. So all the things that you can do with it, the ways you can earn it, the ways you can spend it, and everything in between. So I'm going to start it like this. What I'm about to show you is kind of like a two-step prong approach. One, I hate to say it, if you know anything about crypto, the first part's probably going to be a little boring. So hopefully I'm fun enough that you stay for the second part. The first part is all about getting your first wallet. And so I'm literally going to walk you through your first wallet. I'm going to show you how to send, how to receive, what a portfolio is, what a wallet is. I'm going to show you a couple different wallets. There's many great wallets. I've worked for a few wallets in my history, and I'm not showing you any of those. What I'm going to show you is Exodus Wallet. And the reason I'm showing you this is one, it is my personal favorite. That is, I'm not pushing it on anybody, but it has also the ability to do great things for classes because you don't have to sign up. You don't have to AML or KYC right off the bat. It's something you can download on Android, an iPhone, or on your computer right in front of you right now. So primer to end this, at the end of this class, I'm going to give $10 worth of Bitcoin to somebody who can answer a question. It is a librarian question. It's a library question. It's a question about books. So anyway, when we get to the end, as long as you've downloaded the wallet throughout the class and you can answer the question first, I'll give you some crypto. So let's get started. Oh, and hi, Mom. All right, so basically using digital currencies. If you were here last time, I've reused like 3 slides, and that's only because it's the same thing. Who am I? I'm not going to spend much time on this. Ex-Army medic, been into Bitcoin since 2012, 2013, when I first started going to college, and I've just been hooked ever since. And so the last 8 years have just been constantly trying to teach Bitcoin to people safely, because there are so many scammers and there's so many MLMs and there's just scam everywhere you look. Everybody wants to tell you what to buy, when to buy it. That's not what I do. I'm not going to give you any investment advice. I'm just going to show you how to get started, how to use it, and honestly, how to earn it without having to do anything. Because there's a lot of great companies now that just like your bank will give you, rewards for holding coins or, dollars in your bank account. There's so much to learn. So let's get started. Right off the bat, let me minimize this screen. I don't need to see myself. All right, so this is kind of an overview, kind of a table of contents, as it were, as to kind of what we're going to go doing. Of course, one thing I'm not going to really show you how to do is buy Bitcoin in this particular class. It's a very easy thing to do. You can message me later if you need help with it, but we did cover it in the last class. And that's not what this is about. This is about earning Bitcoin without actually having to buy it. So really quickly, please read along, but earn by buying. And so there are debit cards and credit cards, both issued by Visa, that allow you to earn rewards just like you would with a regular credit card or debit card. And we'll go into that over the class. Earn by learning, one of my favorite wallets, which is not what I'm about to show you, is Coinbase. It's one of the oldest, but it also has a really great part called Coinbase/earn. And at the time of this taping, you can go make an account on Coinbase and make $32 worth of a few cryptocurrencies just by watching a 1-minute video, earn $3. Watch a 1-minute video, earn $3. You can turn that $32 into Bitcoin and then turn it into cash. So for 10 minutes worth of work, if you don't care about crypto at all, you can still make $32 very easily. And you'll learn a little bit about crypto. So that's always good. Internet extensions like Lolli and Purse.io, I will go into those, but these are other ways to make money by using money. Mining is a big thing that we went into in the last class about how it works, how it runs, all the ins and outs. This time, I'm just going to show you how to make money mining, because if you have a computer that's 4 years old but can play a video game, if you have a good GPU, even if you have an old GPU, there's still a chance that you can make your computer make you money every day. So I'll show you some profitability charts and honestly, just the software I use to do that. If I was to show you around the house, I've got about 7 computers that are mining all day, every day, and I generate about $20 a day in Ethereum right now. So if you do happen to be a gamer and you have a computer, pay attention to that part. Proof of stake we'll go into a little bit. Proof of stake, I'm not going to go into it too much, but it's basically just like interest in a bank account. If you were to put $100 in a bank account that earns you 1% interest, that is the exact same way as saying if you put $100 worth of a coin into this wallet and it earns 1% stake, you'll earn 1% interest. So it's not to be confusing. It's just we use different words in this space. The last two I'm actually not going to go into in this class because they're not really for beginners, in my humble opinion. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that a lot of people lose a lot of money that way. And take your time. And I'd be happy to individually help somebody if that's what they want to do. And that's exchanges. You can always day trade, buy low, sell high. Of course, that works for some people if you do it right. And then also lending platforms. And I will go into that slightly, certain types of lending platforms, because right now you could lend a Bitcoin and earn like 25% interest on it in 6 months. But there's a lot of issues with that. You have to trust the person, right? You have to trust the company behind it. And there's been a lot of failed attempts of that over the last couple of years. So my general thing is kind of stay away from lending platforms. Let me click and go. So first wallet, take this as it is. I'm not saying the best wallet for beginners is Exodus. I'm saying I think it is. So there's a lot of great wallets for beginners. Coinbase, BRD, Electrum is for advanced Bitcoin users, but it's also good for beginners. Mobile users, again, Coinbase and Exodus, there's so many. But the main thing I want everybody to know is if you ever look up a wallet on the phone, Apple or Android, and it costs anything more than free, don't buy it. It's not a good wallet. All hot wallets, all wallets on computers and phones should always be free. They are free and nobody's ever paid for it. So if you're paying $2.99 for something, it's probably a bad thing and they're probably going to take your information anyway. On the right, the most important thing to know right here is why you want the wallet you want. And so do you want it to be portable, i.e. do you want it to be in your phone? Do you want it to be on a piece of paper in your closet? Do you want it to be on your PC? What kind of coins do you want to hold? If you just want to hold Bitcoin, any wallet will work. But if you want to hold a particular coin, you have to find the wallet that will allow you to hold it. What abilities do you want that wallet to have? Do you want to be able to trade coins for coins in the wallet itself? Do you want to be able to stake coins in the wallet? Do you want to be able to earn rewards on stable coins? We'll go into all this very, very shortly. Security concerns, which for the most part, and that's why I say don't pay money for a wallet. As long as you're using the right wallet, your security concerns are pretty much taken care of. It falls on you. And that has to do with the private key. And I will promise, I will bring that up about 12 more times throughout this class, because the private key is the one thing that if I teach you anything, it's how to keep that safe. Customer support, which surprisingly enough is a huge one. You'd be surprised how many wallets don't have customer support. And so I highly recommend using a wallet that does, because sometimes things get stuck. It's happened many times and you need to get a hold of somebody. Some wallets will get back to you in 3 weeks, some will never. And some, the good ones will get back to you in 6 hours, right? The cost of the wallet, and this only is for hardware wallets. Down at the bottom, the Ledger Nano X, the Ledger Nano S, the Trezor Model T, these are hardware wallets. We talked about this in the last class. But just real quick, there's 3 types of wallets: a hot wallet, meaning connected to the internet, which is a phone or a PC wallet, and a cold wallet, which is a wallet not connected to the internet, which usually comes in the form of a piece of paper with a private key and public key on it. And the third one is, of course, a hardware wallet, which are those. Hardware wallets actually do cost money. They're worth it. They're a hybrid of the two. When they're not connected to your computer, they're cold. When you connect them to your computer, they're hot. So it's a nice little hybrid of the two. One last thing that I'm actually not going to go into, but it's at the very bottom. Do they give you access to coin forks? Sometimes a coin will fork. In the case of Bitcoin back in 2017, Bitcoin forked and it became Bitcoin Cash. And all of a sudden there was 2 different types of Bitcoin. And some wallets gave people the fork, because I want you to think of a fork like a stock split. When PayPal split from eBay, for every one eBay share you had, you got one PayPal share. Works the same with forks. So for every one Bitcoin you had when it forked, you got one Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash right now is valued at like $550. It wasn't that much when it forked, but my point is this: some wallets will actually give you the fork money. They'll give you that Bitcoin Cash, and others won't. So you also want to use a wallet that you know has a history of giving you access to those forked coins, because that's free money. That's your money. And a lot of wallets have been very devious and been like, no. And that's terrible, because you know what happens? They're taking your money is really what just happened. So there's a lot of words over the next 3 screens, but basically this is me kind of just trying to show you what wallet we're going to be teaching and why. So feel free to go through this. And my big thing is I did write a lot. I don't read my slides. So please, 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 as we continue, if you want this slides emailed to you, just type your email account in the chat, and I'll be happy to mass share this with everyone at the end, so that you can actually take the time to read everything about it. But all in all, Exodus was formed in 2015. It started with just Bitcoin and Litecoin, and now it's fully functioning with hundreds of access to coins. So it can hold a lot of coins, which is a really good thing if you're diversifying your portfolio in this space. It also just went public back about 3 months ago in 2001 this year. So that's really nice too. And the third thing at the very bottom in bold, it's available on desktop computers, Mac, Windows, Linux, and smartphones. And so it's just available everywhere. And that's really kind of, it shouldn't still be rare, but it is still rare. A lot of wallets are still PC only, phone only, or most don't like to do the combo yet. It's just extra coding. So Exodus at a glance, as I said, it can, you can download it on anything. If you have any questions, I recommend just Googling Exodus and go ahead and downloading it either on your phone, iPhone, Android, or a computer, literally right now, if you'd like. You don't have to. The one thing, here we go with that private key again. The one thing to note about all wallets, every single wallet will give you a private key. This comes in the form of different ways of saying it, though. A private key can be a recovery phrase. A private key can be a 12-word phrase, a 20-word phrase, a 16-word phrase, a 24-word phrase. But at its heart, it's the private key. And the private key is always meant to be private. We did discuss this a lot in the last class, and I'll bring it up again and again and again. Never give your private key out. So when you first download a wallet, it's going to ask you if you would like to, let me go to this slide real quick. It'll ask you, would you like to start a new wallet or recover or restore an existing wallet? And what this means is, let's say I actually have an Exodus wallet on this computer right now, and I drop it and I break it. Well, then it's gone, right? And so when you take your recovery key, when you get that 12-word phrase, what happens is I can download Exodus on any computer I want all over again, any computer, type in that 12-word phrase by clicking restore, and then all of a sudden I have access to my funds again. And that's why the private key is so important. Same thing with a phone. If you write down your 12 words and put it somewhere safe and somebody steals your phone, you break your phone, or the thing that happens the most, you upgrade your phone and forget you had a wallet on it, as long as you have your private key, you can re-download that wallet onto a new phone, type in the 12 words, and you have your money again. So that's what all this is about. And if I do send this to you, please read this, because really the private key and knowing how to use it and what to do with it is so important. I spent like 30 minutes on this on the last class. Now, when you download your Exodus wallet, most wallets have the same abilities. Just Exodus looks like this. That's another one giant, humongous difference about wallets is the user interface. And so here in order from left to right, you literally have your portfolio, and it'll show you a circle of all the coins you have, your wallet, which gives you the ability to send, receive, and trade. The next one is trading, and that one brings you straight to the trade table where you can trade one coin for another in the wallet. This is amazing because this allows you to keep all your funds in a wallet that you control, that nobody else has access to, and you can trade Bitcoin for Ethereum without ever having to use an exchange. And exchanges aren't by definition bad, they can be dangerous, and there's a long drawn out history of people losing their money on exchanges. And so the invention of the wallet that can now allow you to trade your coins inside of it, it's been around for years now, but it's still very, very useful, and I love it to death. And I haven't had to use an exchange in years. The fourth one we're going to go into for just a second, but that is actually Exodus allows you to compound, is what they call it, but basically earn interest on a stable coin. The stable coin that Exodus uses is called DAI or DAI. And there are so many stable coins right now. A lot of them are going through a lot of governmental regulation, which is a good thing. The big ones are like Tether, USDC coin. These are all coins that are supposed to be $1 all the time. And so you can earn, 1% or 2% a year on holding $1 coin. And if, I don't know about you, I live in San Antonio. There's this one bank I drive by every day, and it always says the same thing. It says earns 1.75% over 18 months. And that's not very good. And so if you're going to earn, 1.75% over 18 months by putting $1 into a bank, why not earn, 2% in a year by putting $1 coin into a wallet, right? Same idea. Next one is rewards, the fifth one to the right, staking rewards. And that's basically proof of stake. We did talk about this a little. I'll talk about it again a lot. But proof of stake is just like interest, putting your money into a bank, just the same as compounding your DAI, except you're not compounding a stable coin, you're earning interest on a altcoin. We'll go into that. And the last one has no relevance whatsoever. They just haven't taken it away yet. It's still there. It needs to go. And that is like I said, a couple months ago, they went public, and you could literally click that button and you could buy shares in Exodus, which is ended. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, only because I actually have my Exodus wallet up, and I'm just going to share the screen and go through it with you like live instead of you having to stare at, blank screens. But the portfolio is really, really quite simple. It shows it'll show a circle at the top. You don't see that in this screen, which just shows all the different coins you have. When you scroll down, this is what you see. You see the prices, you see the 24-hour changes, the 30-day trends, the balance, the value. If you actually click into that, you can see even more. On the right, you can see what % of your portfolio or this individual wallet holds. And that's all that really is. It's just a viewpoint to see what's going on in the world of crypto in real time. This updates every minute. So next up is the wallet, which would be the second icon right here, right? And so when you click on a wallet, on the very, very top, you'll see Bitcoin, Cardano, ETC, so all you have to do is click on whichever coin you want, and it'll pop it up, and it'll show you it'll show you your balance. If it's zero, it's zero. If you've got a little Bitcoin in there, that's what it'll show you. And below that, I kind of split this up into two screens. It'll show you every transaction you ever did in this wallet. So that's really nice, not just for taxes, but also for notes. So when 3 years passes, you can look back on your transactions and go, oh, wow, I sent this then and I did that then. It's a really nice thing. It's just like a bank account. It shows you every transaction you've ever done. So I want you guys to think of a wallet as a bank account. So moving on, well, actually right here, every time you click on wallet, you'll kind of have three options: send, receive, and trade. And that's exactly what it is. If you click on send, it'll bring you to another screen, which I'm about to show you, and it'll allow you to send your money to person B, right? And again, if this is way too basic for certain people, I promise I'm about to show you some more stuff, but it is important. Receive, that's how you receive. Going back to that private key, we also have public keys. The public key is for the public. And when you click on receive, you're going to get a string of letters and numbers, as well as a QR code. And all the person has to do, and we'll do it at the end of this class, is either scan that QR code or type in that assortment of letters and numbers. And then that's just the way I say it is, it's like a PayPal address. It's like saying, hey, if you need to PayPal me, just send it to my email address, right? Alex Eaton, blah, blah, blah. And they'll go, okay. And so it's the same thing. You just give them your public key, and then they can send you the money. The third option is trade, and that's just one way to get to it. And we'll actually go into that in a little bit more detail. So this is a reused asset from the last class. But if you don't know what a public key is, I'm gonna try and teach you in 15 seconds. A public key, as I just said, is for the public. It's something that you can broadcast to the world. If you wanted to, like, for instance, this 18UVW, that's it in the letter and number phrase, but it can also be QR coded. You could share that on a website. You can put that as your, Facebook face profile, and anybody in the world at any time can go to their wallet, scan it, and send money to you. So public key is for the public, and it's how you receive your money. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but that's basically it. I did talk about it last time, but at the bottom, there is a company called Netkey. And lately I've seen several wallets. The first one I saw was BRD. They actually allow you to change your public key to something more PayPal-ish, like an email address. So that way it's not, hey, it's this really long series of numbers. You could say, hey, you can just send it to alexeaton.bit. And then that's what you would put in your public, to send, and it will send. So that's really nice. The infrastructure is getting better. A lot of stuff here. Again, I'm not here to tiptoe on every little thing. If this is something that you need to know, I will send this to you. What I really want to show is this is how you send funds on Exodus. Right here, where my arrow is, this is where you would type in the public key, or you could click here to scan the public key. Next, you get to choose how much Bitcoin, and then below that, it'll show the USD value. I intentionally put in not a Bitcoin address. In the past, if you accidentally put one letter or number wrong or missed a letter and number, you could maybe accidentally send your Bitcoin to nowhere, and that Bitcoin would be lost forever. That stopped many years ago because now good wallets, when you type in an address, it'll say this address is not formatted properly. Please double check each character in the address so you don't make a mistake. And that's just another sign of a good wallet, that they're checks and balancing, trying to help you from making a mistake. And the last thing at the bottom, and I'm actually going to go into this slightly, is the transaction fee. Because that's something that has, it can go up and down all day, every day. If I was to, I've actually put this one up today, but if I was to refresh this now, I bet the Bitcoin network fee would be up or down a few cents, right? And so all you would do, type in your address, how much do you want to send, hit send, and that's it. And then it would send. Now, Bitcoin, their blocks take about 10 minutes. But lately, if I was to send Bitcoin, it'll probably take about a minute to get to the receiver, maybe even less. Most coins are even quicker than that. The blockchains used to take, it was called confirmations. Every block would be a confirmation. It would take 6 confirmations, 6 blocks. Block is 10 minutes. It would take 60 minutes to receive your money. But it's upgraded quite a bit since then, so it's a lot faster. So transaction fees, you again, read it if you want. All I really want to touch on this is that to send Bitcoin, it costs Bitcoin. The more transactions are occurring in the world at any given time, the more expensive the transaction fee is going to be. If nobody's sending any transactions at any given moment and you're trying to send, it'll be really cheap. If Bitcoin is going from 50,000 to 80,000 in a day, it's going to probably cost you $30 to buy anything or to send anything. I mean, it's happened many times in the past. I'm not exaggerating. To send $3 worth of Bitcoin, it could cost $30 worth of Bitcoin. This has happened because when the network gets clogged, that's what happens. And so transaction fees, I say this so that you pay attention, because I've made the mistake myself where I've sent $50 and it cost me 100 because I didn't pay attention to the network fee. If I had just gone, wait a second, I'm going to wait, it'll slow down, right? So just pay attention to those transaction fees. And then this is actually one thing that is different than cash. And I actually do want to read this. So this is actually kind of an interesting thing. $1 is the same as 100 pennies, right? It requires 100 pennies. And so here's an example of how it is different from Bitcoin. If Alice receives 0.01 Bitcoin every day for 100 days, that's 100 transactions, and every transaction costs more to send. So if she basically has 100 0.01 Bitcoins, it's going to cost her more than if she was just to send 1 Bitcoin. It's the exact same amount, but that 1 Bitcoin was just 1. It didn't come from 100 transactions. So that's another thing to note. If you've been doing a lot of day trading, small little trades here and there, and you see your network fee or your transaction fee really high, that could be why. So that does I get questions about that all the time. They're like, why is it more expensive to send this than that? Why is it cheaper for me than him? It's probably because of the way that your Bitcoin was sent to your wallet. So next, receiving funds. And I do apologize. I know I talk fast. I have a lot of slides to go through. All right, receiving funds. This is not to confuse you. Bitcoin has upgraded to something called SegWit. I'm not going to get into that in this class. All it means is that in this wallet, you have 2 different Bitcoin public keys. You have 2 different Bitcoin addresses. One is for the legacy, which basically just means old Bitcoin, and one is for SegWit Bitcoin. Thing of note, not all wallets have both. Some wallets are still just legacy wallets. Some wallets are only SegWit wallets. If you try and send your legacy Bitcoin to a SegWit wallet that is not upgraded with the right coding, it might not get there. And so I use this as an example. you can switch back and forth using the left or right arrow. But no, this is very, 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 very important. And luckily, Exodus will stop you if you do send it to the wrong one. If you're trying to send legacy Bitcoin to a to this wallet and you use the SegWit one, it'll say this is the wrong one. Use the other one. And again, this is why I like this wallet. It protects you. But one for one, it's the same Bitcoin. There's no difference between a SegWit Bitcoin and a legacy Bitcoin. All it means, there's not two different 21 millions. It just means that it hasn't hit a SegWit address yet. Eventually, most Bitcoin will be at SegWit, and hell, in 10 years, we'll probably have 2 or 3 other upgrades that will change the addresses and make it easier and faster even more. What did SegWit do? Remember how I was talking about confirmations and blocks and how it would take 60 minutes or 6 blocks? That's what SegWit did. It made it cheaper and faster to send transactions. And so most people don't use legacy wallets. That's if you haven't touched your Bitcoin in 7 years and you want to move it over and change it into your SegWit Bitcoin. But it really is a one-for-one. It really is just that simple. I haven't said it yet, but if you would like, you're more than welcome to write questions in the chat at the end of this. I will absolutely answer those questions. Oh, look, it's another private key thing. Okay, so again, a lot of words. I'm not going to read this out. Just please, please, please realize this. I want, again, one thing from this. Every threat is up to you. You can combat all the scammers, all the hackers, all the everything. All you have to do is not give out your private key. This is really important though, and I've said this before, but if you download an app on an Android, there's a pretty good chance, especially if it's a game, it's going to say, hey, we need access to your photos. And you're going to say no. And it's going to say, okay. And then it's not going to let you play your game. And so you're going to open your game again and you're going to say, I want to play the game. And it's going to say, hey, we need access to your photos. And you're going to be confused. You're going to say, why does it need access to my photos so I can play the game? I still don't know the answer to that. But the simple fact is, once you say yes, you just gave some third party access to your photos. And this is why if you're downloading Exodus on your phone and it's asking you to write down that 12-word phrase, don't take a screenshot of it. Don't take a picture of it. Don't put it in your Google Drive. Don't keep it anywhere on the internet. The best thing you can do is use a pen and a piece of paper and write it down and go put it in a fireproof, moisture-proof safe. That's what I do, and that's just what I recommend. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I have had a lot of customers who have come to me trying to find their money, and they can't because they didn't write down their 12-word phrase. Mom, I'm looking at you. I know I can't see you right now, but yeah, you're guilty. So again, private key, write it down. Don't put it on the internet. Okay, haha, just one more. If you don't know me, yeah, sorry. But yeah, when is the right time to give your private key away? Never. So again, right there, if anyone requests your private key for any opportunity, there's a 99.9% chance you're about to get scammed. I say that because once you start going deep into this space, you'll see things called airdrops. And yes, in the past, there were airdrops that would give you free coins. And for some reason, if you don't know, they'll say, yeah, just give me your private key and I'll give you $1,000, right? And people do it and then you're done. So just don't give your private key away. All right, I think there's only like one more slide about private keys. It's just really important. All right, so exchange. This is that third one down. So instead of using an exchange like Binance, which is like the largest one, where you have to AML and KYC yourself, which stands for anti-money laundering, and know your customer, which is where you have to take a screenshot of your license and give them all your information. And then you have to deposit Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin through them, and then trade and then withdraw. It's a whole process. And why not just use a wallet? So in this example, and I'm going to show you in a second because I'm going to pull up my actual Exodus wallet. This is actually a trade I did today. You can choose any coin that you have on the left, and you can turn it into any coin that Exodus allows you to trade at any given time. And I say that because most of the time it has all the coins available, but sometimes they go through little 2-3 hour upgrades. And so sometimes certain coins are unavailable at certain times. In this case, I decided, you know what, I don't have any Binance coin. Maybe I want some. So I can turn my Bitcoin into Binance coin. And you can basically type in how much Bitcoin you want to turn into whatever coin you want, and how much USD it's worth, and how much USD's value you'll get out of it. Notice that there is about an $8 difference. That's because there are transaction fees and trade fees and all these little fees, right? That's always going to happen. Even if you were to put your money in an exchange, that would still happen. There's withdrawal fees in exchanges. So yeah, this, what you see here, 155 to 147, that's actually really good. I can show you in a minute the difference between other pairs. Sometimes you might lose 25% in a trade. That's terrible. However, just also know that every single time you trade, you're actually doing a capital gains tax issue, right? You're being taxed. That every time you do a transaction, it's a tax. So if you trade at a loss and you have earned on some stocks this year, that can actually be a benefit. Everybody says, oh, I lost $200 worth of Bitcoin this year, but that can actually go to your losses and your taxes. So that's for a CPA to tell you, but it actually doesn't always have to be a bad thing. But overall, once you choose what you want and how much you want, you'll hit the exchange button. It'll say starting your exchange. And it says in an hour or less, but I promise you, it generally takes about 5 minutes. And then you hear this nice little of like coins falling, and then your 0.2593 BNB goes into your Exodus wallet. And you can start a new exchange, or you can look at every single exchange you've ever done, which is also really nice. The next one, and I talked about it for a second, and again, this is a very quick one, was compounding or making money on your stable coins. Really just one slide here, and I'll show you just a second in the actual wallet. This is showing you if you were to deposit 1,000 DAI over 12 months, then you would earn 2.71 APY or 1,027 DAI, right? Is that a lot? No, it's $27 for a year of holding $1,000. My point is this, that dollar is going to be $1 tomorrow and $1 tomorrow. By doing this, you are staying in crypto, but you're also not dealing with the ups and downs. Why are stable coins good and why do people use them? Well, when Bitcoin went up to $64,000, everyone that kind of saw that it was about to crash because it went up too high, they took their Bitcoin and they turned it into stable coins. So they could take one Bitcoin at $64,000 and make 64,000 stable coins. And then when Bitcoin went down to 30,000, they still have 64,000 stable coins, and they can take that and they can buy 2 Bitcoin. So in just like 3 months period, if you had sold 1 Bitcoin, turned it into stable coins, and then bought your Bitcoin back at half price, you just doubled your money. And so stable coins are very, very good for that, but they're also good because, quite simply, using that banking example I used earlier, 2.71% over 12 months is a lot better than 1.75% over 18. And that's really it. There are a lot of other stable coins that you can stake or compound on different wallets. Coinbase allows it, as do many others. On this particular wallet, it's just DAI. This is, again, nothing I'm showing you here I recommend to do. I'm just showing you that you can. I've played around, and I do a little bit, but I actually like to be a little bit more risky because that's very low risk. So the next one is actually kind of one of my favorites, rewards for POS coins. POS stands for proof of stake. Proof of stake means interest, basically putting a coin in your wallet, holding it, staking it, and you're earning money every day. In Exodus, they have right now 7 different coins that you can stake: Neo, Cosmos, ADA, Algo, Ant, Tezos, and VeChain. Now, the thing about APY is APY changes. So tomorrow, for instance, ADA's 4.91 might be 4.92 or 4.90 or 3 or 7. It actually does change quite a bit. And it changes based on the way that the staking is set up. And it would be a whole 2-hour presentation to go into just these 7 of the staking and how it all works, because they all reward differently. And the reason that their APY goes up and down is based on multiple different avenues, and each one uses different avenues. So I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I will say this. I always say this, coinmarketcap.com is a great resource. It's a great website to learn about the staking rewards, or even better, go to Algorand, go to Cardano, go to Cosmos, type that into Google, hit staking, and learn about the staking and why you can get 14.5% versus 1.2, right? So why would I stake VeChain when I can stake Ontology? Well, maybe VeChain actually is a better product. Maybe it's farther along. And so that's where you're starting to learn. In this case, I'm just going to go into Cardano because I've been staking Cardano for a couple of months now, and I wanted to do a quick little primer on it. And so really, can I move this? I'll move this, yeah. So again, staking any coin is just the same as it is on Exodus. If you stake a coin on Coinbase or any other wallet, all you have to do is have the coin in your wallet and choose to stake it. So here you would go to your Cardano wallet or ADA wallet. As long as you have enough ADA, you'd hit stake ADA and you just start staking it. Over here on the right, this is what it looks like on the phone version. And you would click this little award on the right and you can start staking your ADA. Once it's staking all day, every day, this number will just keep going up, 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 up. And whenever you want, you can hit claim. Notice there at the bottom, it says network fee. There's always a network fee, right? So you claim it. And then over here on the bottom right, you have earned your ADA. So I earned 8.46 ADA in like 3 months at a 4.21 rate. I think I staked like 1,000 ADA. So I made 8 for 1,000. Why do people stake? Because they believe in the product, because they want more of it. And more than anything, they believe that that particular coin will go up over time. Because wouldn't it be great if you buy a coin for 10 cents, stake it for 4 years, make 10,000 of them, and then all of a sudden it's worth $5 one day, right? So that's the mentality behind staking. It's the same as mining. It's just you're not using a computer, you're just depositing money and holding it. Coinbase is my second favorite wallet because of all of its abilities, because of the fact that it's basically the kind of like one of the oldest by far. And also, I'm going to get into it a little bit, but it's also FDIC insured, which I'll explain what that means. So this is just kind of a collage of Coinbase. I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm not going to show you how Coinbase works like I did Exodus. But Coinbase has a lot of bonuses, a lot of things that it does. Right off the bat, if you make an account, you get $5 in free Bitcoin. Yay, right? Free money. They do a lot of different things. That they also have a mobile app. They even have, not to confuse you, there's Coinbase and there's Coinbase Wallet on your phone, which is a non-custodial wallet, which means they give you that 12-word phrase. Coinbase, not Coinbase Wallet, but Coinbase is not, they are custodial, meaning they do not give you that 12-word phrase. They do not give you your private key. This is not a good thing in general. Except for the fact that they're FDIC insured, they're 50 state legal, they're compliant with the government, and it's about as good as it's going to get. I actually have my mom on Coinbase because she would lose her private keys. She's gotten better, but the good thing about Coinbase is when you lose your password or you forget your username, you can just send them an email and say, hey, I forgot my stuff. And they're like, send us a picture, and you get, you do it and you get access to your funds again. So I recommend Coinbase for beginners, but once you maybe have like over $1,000, you might want to move it to a non-custodial wallet, a wallet that you own, right? One of the other great things right here is they have something called Coinbase Earn. And the moment you sign up for Coinbase, this is as of today, you can earn, like I said earlier, $32 worth of crypto. $3 worth of Clover, $4 worth of the Graph, $3 worth of Bond, $3 worth of AMP. What are they? Well, guess what? You watch a 1-minute video, they'll tell you, and they'll give you some. And so that's just a nice little primer. So now you got $5, now you got $32, you're at $37 and you spent 10 minutes. Down there at the bottom, it says protected by insurance. And I've said this 100 times, but Coinbase maintains crypto insurance for all USD cash balances are covered by the FDIC up to a maximum of $250,000. One other thing right here, reoccurring buys, that's actually in the next slide, a little stretched out. But the one thing that I love about Coinbase that there are a few others that do it. I just don't, I trust Coinbase as a company more than the others if I'm doing a reoccurring buy. But you can set up a reoccurring buy. You can buy every day. You can buy every week, every 2 weeks, every pay period, on the 4th, on the 16th, whenever you want. So what I recommend to new people when I teach them is, what can you afford? Can you afford $10 a month? Set up a reoccurring buy for $10 a month. In a year, you will have bought $120 worth of Bitcoin. If it goes up, awesome. If it goes down, you didn't invest too much. Wait 5 more years, 6 more years. If Bitcoin works as we hope it does, well, then that $10 every month for 6 years will really, really start to add up. If you look at what Bitcoin's price was, even just 6 years ago and what it is now, that's a good example. So Coinbase has the reoccurring purchases, which I really love. Also, for every single friend that you invite to Coinbase and they buy or sell $100, you'll get $10. So that's another way to earn money. Over here on the right, you can buy Bitcoin with a bank account, a debit card, a wire transfer, and as of last year, PayPal. So again, just a lot of avenues because not everybody has a bank, not everybody has a credit card, but everybody can have PayPal, right? Unless you get kicked off PayPal. So again, Coinbase is a great intro platform. However, like I said, once you have a certain amount of money on it, I do recommend putting it in a wallet like Exodus that gives you your private key. The last thing I'll say about this over here on the left, you can actually borrow money from Coinbase. You can borrow cash from Coinbase depending on if you have enough money in your account. So this was actually mine. I don't keep a lot of Bitcoin in my Coinbase account, but as of today, they said with your balance of $5,000, you can borrow $2,000 at 8% APR, which is pretty nice. You can borrow money off your Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up or down, that does affect the payback. So I genuinely do not borrow crypto or cash for my crypto, but again, it's something that you can do. And the main reason this is wonderful is because that's not a taxable event. So you're actually getting cash for your Bitcoin without having to incur any capital gains tax. All right, and we talked about this a little bit. This is just an extra slide. I should have cut this out because I already talked about it, but yeah, Coinbase earn while learning. Next, you have your Coinbase credit card. This, I actually am proud to say, I got mine yesterday. I don't know if it'll take you that long, but if you go to Coinbase, make an account and apply. I applied, I think like 6 months ago, and I got it yesterday. But I'm really excited because I've had one of these before, just not a Coinbase one. This is goes along with that joke of, oh, I can't spend my Bitcoin anywhere. Nobody accepts Bitcoin. Where do I spend my Bitcoin? If you have a Coinbase debit card and you have, let's just say, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in your Coinbase account, you can go to HEB and you can swipe your Coinbase card and you can spend $200 on groceries. You can pay your mortgage with this card. You can do whatever you want. And what happens is basically you swipe your card, Coinbase will sell your Bitcoin, they'll turn it into cash and they'll send it to the company that you're buying from. It's just that simple. And it's accepted everywhere where Visa is accepted, which is everywhere. So quite simply, you can you can use your Bitcoin anywhere, right? One other really cool thing about this is you can choose 4% or 1% back. So every single time I swipe, I can earn 1% back in Bitcoin or 4% back in Stellar. Don't know what Stellar is? Look it up. But that's kind of really interesting that you can actually, and they're going to start adding more over time. So maybe you like Ethereum, maybe you like a really specific coin, maybe you like Doge. Well, Coinbase doesn't have Doge yet. But if it ever does, maybe you can earn it by paying, for groceries, which is just really nice. And of course, no annual fee. That's always good. I don't understand why people get credit cards or debit cards with fees. And then just once again, a little bit more about the Coinbase card. But again, this is more for people that want this later. Don't want to spend too much time on that. I do want to show the difference. There's also a credit card. First one was a debit card. This is a credit card. This one is different. This is from Blockfi, and this really is a credit card. You sign up for it, you get a limit, and every single time you swipe it, you get 1.5% back in Bitcoin. Just that simple. One more thing, not only do you get 1.5 back in Bitcoin forever, but for your first 3 months, you get 3.5 Bitcoin back, up to $50,000. So I have applied for this. I'm excited for when I get it because this will be my new credit card, because every time I buy anything, I'll be getting Bitcoin back in small little amounts, which is to me the best way to acquire it, because who has $50,000, $40,000 to drop on a Bitcoin anytime? So you gotta acquire it slowly and surely, right? Mining, big fan. This is what got me into crypto in the first place. When I heard about Bitcoin, it was $800 and it went down to $200, and I would have hated it if I had bought it. Instead, I mined it. Mining Bitcoin is a incredibly impossible task nowadays, unless you have hundreds of $1,000s and can actually get a hold of things called ASICs, which are really what mines Bitcoin nowadays. However, it doesn't mean that it's not profitable to mine cryptocurrency. And so what I've done here real quickly is these are the 3 software companies that I still use today. I actively use all 3. I recommend them. I do like Cryptex the best, but all these really are software programs. You download it on your computer, takes 5 seconds. You literally turn it on and it'll benchmark your CPU and your GPU, and it'll tell you exactly how much it'll make on a daily basis. And it has a button on and off. And when you hit on, it'll mine. When you hit off, it turns off. Quick note, if you've never mined before, when your computer is mining, it basically bogs down to a crawl. Even just trying to open Internet Explorer or Google might take 15 seconds because it is literally using your entire GPU and your entire CPU. So you can't do much on your computer when you're mining. The next 9 slides are literally just profitability charts for mining. I assumed a few of you might have a gaming computer or maybe a desktop that just happens to have a nice GPU in it. So I'm just going to go through these really, really quickly just to kind of show you, and I'll break it down real fast. When you decide you want to mine, you might have a brand new NVIDIA RTX 3090. I highly doubt it because they're pretty impossible to find and way overpriced because of scalpers and bots. But if you did have one, you could literally make about $8.83 worth of Ethereum every day, minus your electricity cost. If you have to pay for electricity, you can put it at your work and you don't have to pay for electricity. Power usage, which of course affects the electricity cost, which at the end gives you your net profit, right? So if you had 10 of these, you could make $80 a day. If you had 100 of these, you could make, so you get the point. Now, again, 9 slides, this goes down. So you can see just from this one slide, these are the best video cards in the world right now. And from the top to just like number 10, we go from $12 to $4. This next slide, and this is important. This is actually a list from NiceHash, which right here at the middle, NiceHash. So this is NiceHash. NiceHash, Cryptex, they're all going to be slightly different. This next one is from a different website, and this shows a little bit more detail. I really actually appreciate the payback over here. What this is showing is the same basic information, except it's putting into consideration the fact that you're probably going to pay around $3,300.50 for this 3090. You can mine Ethereum, you can mine Expanse, you can mine Ubiquity, you can mine Raven, you can mine Beam. You can mine lots of different coins. Some people might be able to make more cash value mining Ethereum, but they might want to mine this one right here, Expanse, because they believe that maybe Expanse will go up more over time. Now, profit is still around the same, but payback is really, really high. Now, what's really interesting about this is the best card is not the best card because of the simple fact that scalpers have raised the price so much. So if we kind of, and this is the only one I used from this one, but you can start to see, it's actually fun that some of the older miners that only make like $3 a day are actually, the payback on them is a lot better because you can get them, for $80 instead of $33.50, right? So just an interesting thing. And I'm going to slide through these here real quick. And this is, again, in descending order. So if you see that you have a GPU on the left and you're like, oh man, I can make $4 a day, do it, because it adds up. And as you look through these, I want to say one last thing. That $2.86 that you can get on that AMD Vega 64, that's today. So if Bitcoin was to go to $200,000, you would times that by 5, right? So if you're making $3 today, Bitcoin doubles, you aren't making $3, you're making $6, right? And that's really important to know because the dollar that I was mining 7 years ago on my old laptop is not worth $1 today, right? And that's why mining is so much fun because yeah, you're making $2 a day, but as long as you don't sell it today, well, you didn't make anything, but you have potential to make a lot more. And so we're almost done. Here you can see some of these older ones, like they still sell NVIDIA GTX 1650s in computers at Best Buy right now. That'll only make you $1. It's not very good. And here's our last one, our GTX 960 makes 34 cents with power, 10 cents a day, right? So not always profitable, but that's the whole point is what video card do you have? What video card can you get access to? I'm not lying to you. I'm going to tell you a crazy story. I went ahead and bought a bunch of 3060 laptops from Best Buy on my Best Buy credit card about 4 months ago because they generate more than the monthly payment for them. So yeah, how crazy is that? Don't do what I did. All right, let's move on to the next one. So these are extensions for your browser. If you've ever heard of Honey, gives you rewards based on what you buy. Lolli, L-O-L-L-I, is a great little reward system. Basically, you just go to Lolli. If you're going to go to a website, for instance, Groupon, Everlane, Adidas, there literally are hundreds of different websites that they are connected to. But if you want to shop at Harry's and you spend $100, there's a chance you can get 24% of that back in Bitcoin. And over here on the top left, you'll see that that just slowly adds up. I've made all of this by buying my kids video games at GameStop. So 75 bucks or 190 Satoshis. So again, just a nice little extra way to make money by doing what you're doing anyway. Purse.io. I don't have too much to talk about on this one because this one isn't generally for Americans because most Americans have access to cheap Bitcoin, meaning you can go to Coinbase and you can buy your Bitcoin for 1.5%. There are Bitcoin ATMs called BTMs that charge like 7.9%. But sometimes if you're in a really bad's not the right word. If you're in a really, I'll say it like this, if you're in a country where things aren't going too well and it's really, really hard to get Bitcoin, but maybe it's not so hard to get access to the internet, what happens here is basically people will fulfill your Amazon orders and earn Bitcoin. So I might make an Amazon wish list and fill it with like $100 worth of stuff and say, this is what I want from Amazon. I will then go to purse.io and I will put a discount on it. I'll say it's $100, but I will give you $85 worth of Bitcoin. That's 15% loss. But to some countries, they're paying 20% for their Bitcoin. So that guy in that country, or that girl, she's going to buy your stuff on Amazon, send it to your address. Purse holds the money in escrow. And the moment that you get your package, they get your Bitcoin. So you got $100 worth of stuff on Amazon. They got $85 worth of Bitcoin. Everybody wins, kind of, but that's what purse.io is. And so there's a lot of different types like this. Paxful is another one where you can upload a gift card of like $20 to, a vanilla gift card or a Starbucks gift card for $20 and get like $15 worth of Bitcoin for it. Again, not so much for Americans where we're not having to pay that much to get it, but it is good for other countries. Taxes. I'm only saying this is actually, again, a reused asset, but right there at the bottom, the most important thing to know is it's subject to capital gains tax. If you sell your Bitcoin after holding it for over a year, you get long-term, which will be, depending on your tax bracket, 0%, 15%, or 20%. If you sell your Bitcoin after only holding it for less than a year, it's going to be a short-term capital gains tax, which again, depending on your tax bracket, will be between 10 and 39.6% as of writing this. One last thing of note, mined cryptocurrency is not a capital gains tax. It is an income tax. And when you do your taxes, you literally have to report it as income tax, and they tax it as such, which is still a lot better than capital gains tax. The next 4 slides are literally, again, this is just for you to use later. CryptoTrader.tax is it's basically a tax partner. They will take all your wallets and all your exchanges and all your trades for the year and put it all together so you can give it to your CPA, and it just makes it really, really easy to do your taxes. Because if you have 12 wallets or 20 wallets and you're in 4 different exchanges and you've traded coins 100 different times every month all year, you're going to have a really hard time. And so that's what this company's for. And just 3 slides really, really quick. It's really easy. You just import your transactions from the wallet or the exchange, preview, download, send to your CPA. That's it. I don't want to talk too much about taxes. It's not fun, but please realize that they do exist and they will come to get your money. Wow, we made it. I talked really fast. How long was that? All right, we're already to transferring funds, a demonstration. But before we do that, I'm going to end my share screen really quick because we're not done yet. And I'm going to share a different screen. All right, so this is what I was talking about the whole time. We're just going to do a quick live run through just so you can see it in actual real life. This is the Exodus wallet. So right here from the beginning, and I always recommend having more than 1 wallet. I actually have 4 Exodus wallets. I'm not joking. Sometimes I'll take like $50 worth of Bitcoin and start a new wallet, turn it into a few little coins that are worthless, leave it there for 2-3 years, come back and see it's worth like $6,000 and go, oh, wow. So wallets are fun. But really right here from the beginning, portfolio. And if you hover over, it'll show you, oh, look, you have ADA. Oh, look, you have BTC. Oh, look, you have ETC, RC, right? You scroll down. Oh, and also, of course, you can click for the year, all time, and look how your portfolio has merged and moved. If you withdraw money out of your wallet, it's of course going to go down. So that doesn't necessarily mean crypto went down at that time. It just means maybe I moved money. Down below, it'll show you almost every single coin in existence, its value, just like I showed you before. Here you can see the APY that you would earn on Cardano or the APY you would earn on Ontology, your portfolio percentage. Over here at wallet, once again, it would just bring you to your wallet. You can scroll down and see, actually, let me go to Bitcoin so I can actually show a little bit of transactions. So if I scroll down from April 2017 was when I made this wallet. I added 0.29 Bitcoin to it, sent it in 4 different amounts, little adds, little receives. And again, just like a bank account, you can send, type in your address, or you can scan a QR code, tell how much you want to send, half of it, all of it, and hit send. And down below again is your network fee. Let me back out. Receive, as we discussed, receive is quite simple. You can click copy and you can email this to somebody and they can just type it into their send. You can send them a picture of your QR code. Once again, this is the SegWit. Here's the legacy, back and forth. They look eerily similar, right? But again, this wallet won't let you make that mistake. You can email your address to somebody, and viewing it on the blockchain is basically going to the blockchain and seeing where your transactions are or where your wallet is. You can view anyone's wallet on the blockchain. You may not know whose it is, but you can view any wallet on any blockchain. Moving into trades, once again, just so I can show you the live version of it, you have Bitcoin and you'll have access to all the coins that you have. So for instance, if I wanted to trade some Decred for some Poly, I can do minimum, half, or all of my Decred. Now, again, notice the difference, 192.19, 169.95. I'm losing about $22 in this trade if I wanted to trade. If I was to wait a minute and come back, this will go up and down because again, this is a very live 24/7 all the time thing. Oh, look, it just went up. Now I'll make 170. So always, and all you would do is hit exchange. And then as soon as it's done, you would go back to your wallet and you would have Polymath in your wallet, 428 of them. Sorry, 647 of them to be precise. Next up is that compound finance. I do not have this wallet compounding, so I cannot show you it right this second, but all you would do is first you'd have to have DAI in your wallet, which you can exchange, haha, if you want to, and then you could start earning on that dollar coin. Let me move back one. Give it a second. All right, rewards. So once again, this is the rewards platform where you can see your staking balance. You can get your reward. I actually claimed this earlier today, and in the last couple, I guess 3 hours, I've actually made 0.47 ADA. So it works. As long as you have 1 ADA, you can always claim it. Once you claim it, you can unstake it. You cannot send staked currency. So if you ever want to send your currency that you're staking, you have to unstake it, and then you can sell it or send it. Thing of note. And going back to the thing that doesn't exist anymore just for fun. Yeah, they're already done. But this was for about 2 months, you could actually invest in this wallet. All right, so that is what I wanted to show. Now I'm going to stop the share and, okay. All right, you ready? Okay, I'm gonna ask a question. And it only works if you downloaded the wallet. But if you downloaded the wallet, then just turn on your screen and hit the receive button on Bitcoin and show me your QR code, and I will send you some money. So I'm going to ask the question, and the first one that answers it wins. I decided to do a librarian question. It's based off my favorite book series as a kid. So the question is this. What was Brian Jenkins's first book in the Redwall series? And if you don't know and nobody knows, I'll then I'm really gonna feel like a nerd.
And I won't answer it because I'm gonna claim librarianship, even though
Oh, you know? Okay,
sure
good.
What it is. I think I do.
All right, well, while that's happening, I've got like a bunch of questions. So let's see.
Okay.
Because nobody's answered yet.
Should we say the first person to type it in chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a cat. All right, so how does mining affect bandwidth? That is a great question. Never actually thought about that. And I think the reason I've never thought about that, and I'm not saying I'm right. I genuinely don't know because I've never noticed a slowdown. We have a PS5, we have an Xbox, we have 2 kids, we have VR. I've got 6, 7 computers mining at any given time. We're streaming in 3 different rooms. So from my experience, I've got Spectrum at 200 megabytes, which isn't even the most powerful one. I haven't noticed too much of a difference. I do not think it affects the bandwidth very much at all. However, if you are running a Bitcoin node, which is a whole nother thing, that could affect the bandwidth because now you're having a lot of traffic in and out. But again, just from my experience, not too bad. However, if you're somebody randomly who doesn't have like internet and you're using like a hotspot, well, I don't know. You brought me a question I genuinely don't know. I appreciate that. I'm going to figure that one out. I signed up for the Blockfi card and got approved. What? Sorry, that's my mom. I signed up for the Blockfi card and I'm on a waiting list. How did you get approved first? That's not the point.
Okay. I see some family tension building.
I love her. She supported me so long ago. So no, it's great. She was one of the ones that didn't think I was nuts for this. What's the interest rate on the credit card? On both of them, Blockfi credit card, Coinbase credit card. I can't tell you right off the top of my head. I just got it yesterday. I haven't even used it yet. I would just go to the fact sheet on that. I don't want to give you the wrong one. Thanks for making part 1 available. Part 1 is available. And I'm cooler than you. Yeah, you are, Mom. Well, shoot, nobody's answered. Okay. Nobody knows the answer to that one. Then, ooh, I got a good one. Let's see. The first one, now it's just based on speed. The first one to put your video on and have your QR code for your Bitcoin address up on the screen, that's the first screen I'm going to scan. I'll do it that way. We'll see if anybody downloaded a wallet. And the answer was in the question. Yeah, there we go. The answer was Redwall. First book was Redwall. All right, Michael, it was you. All right, I'm going to see if I can make your screen a little bit bigger. I don't know how to do this.
I don't have a wallet.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So that's okay. Download Exodus real quick on your phone. And we can do this later too. I will send you my thing. I've got my phone number on the thing. You're more than welcome to call me. I owe you $10.
Okay. I emailed you my phone number at the last class, but you never got back.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay, that's that, Michael. Good. No, sorry, I went on a camping trip and I was gone for a long couple days.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, I do owe you $10 though. Well, what I do
see another. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I see another question as well when you're ready to take one.
Oh, what is it?
Can you buy Bitcoin for your children like a UGMA and at what tax rate?
You know, like the Uniform Gift of Minors Act, I bought some for my children and it's taxed at their tax rate. Can we buy that for Bitcoins in our children's name and use it for them for later?
I'm going to say, I don't know. What I will say is I bought a Bitcoin for my 2 kids like 6 years ago, and all I did was put it in a wallet. I put it in a specific type of wallet. And in fact, probably go run and get it. There's things called cold wallets. I talked about it before. Crypto art is my favorite. It's a piece of paint. It's a piece of art that's limited edition, has a little QR code on it. You can put your Bitcoin in it. So no, I have 2 pieces of art that have a Bitcoin on them each, and they're for the kids. And when it's time, you know, I guess maybe when they're 18 or 20 or when they need the money, they don't know they have it. But at any time, I can withdraw that Bitcoin. I can give it to them. For me, I don't think you need a company to do that for you. Only because
what I'm asking is, you know, like if you do withdraw that and you gain money, is the capital gains based on your income bracket or your tax bracket or the children's tax bracket?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so in this case, if it's the kid's wallet and it's going to the kid's bank account, for instance, like I bought it, I put it in a wallet, 10 years pass, my kid's 19. I give him that piece of crypto art. With his wallet, he scans the private key, pulls that money off. Now he's got the Bitcoin, right? He then sells his Bitcoin. Let's say he sells the full Bitcoin to Coinbase. And let's say he only makes $20,000 that year. He's not going to have to pay a dime because he's not in the bracket that has to pay capital gains tax. So it's who sells it. I can give, just like anything, you're allowed, I don't know if it's state to state. I know here in Texas, at the very least, you're allowed $15,000 in gifts every year. So technically, that's a good question. I actually need to look that up myself and say, if I was to buy, you know, because it was $600 at the time, but you know, it'll be worth a lot more in 10 years. So
whose name is the wallet in? Is it in your child's name or is it in your name?
Another good question. It's in no one's name, technically. I use a lot of, and this isn't meant to sound weird or dark or anything, but as long as you do not connect a wallet to you, for instance, let's say you buy a brand new laptop and you haven't set up your Google, you haven't set up your email account, and you use that, you go to a pawn shop, buy a $50 laptop, and you use that, and you download a wallet like Exodus. Exodus doesn't require any knowledge of you. So technically, it's what I like to call a dark wallet, meaning you could give that to anybody and it would be theirs. It's never tied to you. Now, I say that because I actually have a lot of dark wallets. This Exodus wallet in front of you is a dark wallet. It's not connected to me. I've never sent anything from it to any wallet that is connected to me. That's important because the moment you send, if I was, then all of a sudden they could say, hey, is that wallet connected to you? Because you have this, and I've noticed a lot of transactions coming from this wallet over here. That might be yours too, right? Again, it's meant to sound evil or bad or trying to be disingenuous. It's just kind of how it is. And in a weird way, it's beautiful because quite simply, I can give that laptop in this example to my child and it would be his. He could give it to somebody else and it would be theirs. In fact, that's kind of the whole point of this all is, whoever has it owns it. And that's kind of why I say don't use a wallet that doesn't give you your private key. Because if they have your private key, in exchange, every exchange, they don't give you a private key. You're basically putting money in their account and saying, hold on to this for me. I'm going to go work, right? And if that, if that exchange goes down, if that exchange stops serving America, which I actually have $6,000 worth of Bitcoin in an exchange that stopped serving America, and I've had it stuck there for like 2 years. I can't get it out. So that's one of the reasons I'm very anti-exchange because the rules change all the time and your money's not yours if you don't have it. Now I kind of went off the question, but quite simply, as long as that wallet's not tied to anybody, it's whoever makes the exchange first. So a good example is if you were to download a wallet on a burner phone, buy a Bitcoin, just put it to the side, give it to your kid, a laptop, anything, as long as it's not connected to you. The only other thing on that is Coinbase is the exact opposite. Everything Coinbase does is connected. Everything you do on it will be reported to the IRS. That's how they have their FDIC insurer. That's how they're allowed to be 50 state legal. There used to be a wallet. There still is a wallet. It's just not very popular. It's called Mycelium. And the creator of Mycelium built Mycelium so that the transactions could not be tracked. The funny thing about that was as soon as he was done, he got hired by Coinbase to build the exact opposite situation. So every transaction could be traced so they could become 50 state legal. So the US government could see and come back and go, hey, Alex, whoa, in 2017, you sold $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and you didn't report it. And I'm like, well, you saw that from 4 years ago? And they're like, yes. So that's a real thing. Real thing. So yeah, just be careful with the taxes. Be careful with the taxes. The worst thing, I got a letter in the mail and they were like, you owe us some back tax. And it's not a fun feeling. So that's why I harp on it a lot.
One last question from me, and that is, if you use that debit card, you already got your money in your Bitcoin and your wallet, is there a transaction fee for using the Bitcoin? I mean, for using the ATM. If I go to HEB and swipe it, is there a transaction fee?
Yes, I believe there will be. How much will be determinant of the time, meaning it's not going to be like a straight 0.5% or something like that. It's going to be the transaction fee of the blockchain at the time. If you're using Bitcoin and the network fee costs 34 cents, it's going to be 34 cents. It's never going to be a percentage. But there is one other thing to note. If you do intend to use that Coinbase card, every single time you use it, you're still incurring a taxable event. So if you bought Bitcoin for $1,000 and it went up to 2,000 and you went to HEB and you swiped your card and you bought $100 worth of groceries, you would have been selling Bitcoin that you made money off of, and then they would tax you on that earning, selling $100 that you made. So, I mean, it'd be a small tax and that's only, I think, if you make like over 55K. I may be wrong about the tax bracket. I'm not a CPA. And it does change constantly from my experience. But yeah, people that don't make a lot of money, your tax bracket's not so bad, and your capital gains taxes are sometimes negligent. I got really lucky in that I didn't make a lot of money back in 2015, 16, and 17. So that even though I was selling Bitcoin, that's not going to come back to haunt me because I wasn't making enough. And so yeah, just it never hurts as much as you think it's going to hurt. I hate taxes personally. No, I mean, they're not. I didn't mean to say it like that. It's just, it's a mental block. You know, you want to sell your stuff, but then you're like, oh man, I bought my Bitcoin at $200. Now it's 60,000. That's 58. Oh God, that's a lot of tax. You know, like it's 10% of $50,000. So that is why people go down to Puerto Rico and live there for 6 months and a day, because Puerto Rico, after Hurricane Katrina, they made it to where if you are a resident for 6 months and a day, you don't have to pay any capital gains taxes. So a lot of crypto people have moved to Puerto Rico. They also have a 0% business tax. So a lot of people have gone to Puerto Rico to start businesses. So there are loopholes. They're just kind of annoying because you actually have to go to Puerto Rico for 6 months and a day. I don't have time for that. But you also have countries who are slowly starting to make cryptocurrency a legal tender. And if that happens, well, here in America, game on, right? Then no capital gains tax. That'd be wonderful. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Linda, I'm gonna send you some Bitcoin. You did it. You did it in a different way that I didn't ask, but you did it.
And if anybody else has a question at this point, feel free to unmute yourself or turn your video on or whatever and ask away.
Yeah, please. I'm just sending some crypto to Linda.
Okay. Or you can type it obviously in the chat as well.
You know what? I don't know if you guys can see this very well. This is not the nicest way to do it. Are we there? There, just about there. Okay, so terrible demo because screens and stuff, but this is Coinbase. This is my phone version. So it's the same as Exodus. I just wanted to give you a quick little show. You can buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, convert Bitcoin, send Bitcoin, receive Bitcoin, or deposit and withdraw. And the same with the 60 some odd coins that they allow you to hold on this wallet. So in this case, I'm going to hit send, and I'm going to choose whatever coin I want to send. Hey, Linda, do you want Bitcoin or Ethereum? Because you can have whatever you want. I also got some Litecoin. No, I'm just kidding. You sent a Bitcoin address, so I'm going to send it to your Bitcoin. So let's go back. Get that going again. All right, so we'll choose Bitcoin there at the top. How much do we want to send? $10. Continue. And then it asks you to type in the address at the top. I can hit this button, which will allow me to scan a QR code. Sadly, she did not scan a QR code, so I'm going to have to type it in individually. But as I said before, this is okay because if I type in a letter wrong, it'll be like, whoa, you messed up. Backtrack. What'd you do wrong? You typed a B instead of a Q.
And while you're typing, real quick, I will ask one more thing from people that are listening and or watching at the moment. If anyone would like topics in the future that Alex might be willing to come back and talk about, is there anything that you'd like to learn more about, or any particular topics that you'd like us to cover? If you put that in the chat, then I can possibly see if we can cajole him into doing another class. And just if you're interested, he is going to do another class for us. It's going to be on Wednesday, August 18th at 2 p.m. It will also be recorded on NFTs. NFTs can be a lot of different things. I've asked him to do the class because I'm interested in learning about how you can turn your art and your drawings and stuff like that into items that you can sell for usually Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken.
Really anything. You can use Ethereum's blockchain or any of the smart contract blockchains. So yeah, but yes, you're on. I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep going.
Oh no, I was just saying. So if anybody has any interest in that, I mean, like I said, I'm very interested in the art part of it because I find it fascinating. But I know you can sell like digital trading cards and everything else. So I'm looking forward to the NFT one as well because it's all based on the blockchain science, but it's just a fascinating new world of digital Like, I know they just like, I can't remember what it's called now, but they just started a new website where there's like selling collectible, like pop culture moments and sports moments. And they've partnered with like studios and like Time Magazine, I think it is. And so it's becoming quite a thing.
Digital ownership of things. It's like owning a piece of art, except it's digital and you can use, I mean, and the fun thing about that is it's so much easier to sell things that are digital than physical a lot of the times. Not for everybody. I mean, if you're an art collector and you know the right people and you can go to Sotheby's and be like, yes, I have this thing and I want to auction it for $63 million. You're just that type of person. Most people aren't that type of person. I've got lots of art that's probably worth like something, but how do I get rid of it? Where do I sell it? I don't know. But so this whole NFT digital asset thing is pretty awesome. Okay, I sent it, Linda. So pretty soon, anytime now, you should hear some chink chink. And can I get a link? Yeah, Mom, I got you. I'll send you the link to the first talk. I posted it on Twitter, but I don't like Facebook anymore, so I didn't put it there.
I put it in the chat as well. And I'll send a reminder to everybody that came to this class. If you're interested, I'll send you the link if you want to join us for the NFT class.
Yes, and as always, if you want to send your email address, I will collect them and I will send this entire PowerPoint to you. Oh, and I am so sorry. If anybody's still here that asked me for my booklet last week or last class, I found it. Because I did it like 3 years ago, and you're like, where's my Google Drive? Where is it? Some of it's like kind of outdated, but I have been scanning it, and it's basically done. 40-page little primer I wrote like four years ago, but it's basically kind of the class I gave today with the first class included. What is Bitcoin? How does it work? How to use it? If anybody wants that, it's $100 on Amazon. I'm just kidding. I'll give it to you for free. I just need to finish scanning it, and you'll get the little PDF.
Mm-hmm. And again, I can send that PDF just to everybody that was signed up for this class if you like.
Cool. Yes, please. I mean, absolutely.
That would be cool. Any other questions, thoughts, feelings?
Michael, I didn't forget you. I got your money.
Here.
I got your money.
I got your number.
Good,
And Linda
good.
says, I got it. Thank you.
And that's how fast. So wonderful.
Easy.
Wonderful. Hold on to that. And my last parting words would be to take this information, and when you have some free time, if you're at work and things go slow for 10 minutes, set up a Coinbase account, watch those videos, earn the $30. Set up a reoccurring buy for $10 a month. If you're richer than me, set it up for $50 a month. So, just don't let it pass you by. That's my biggest thing is, start now. Why not?
And I will say, and again, I'm learning along with everyone else. I knew nothing until I met Alex. Now I know a little more than nothing. I still would not say I'm by any means an expert, but I did go to Coinbase and try it out and download it and all that. And if I can figure out how to do it, anybody can.
Rhonda, can you send me your private key?
Now that I don't know if I know how to do yet, but I have a Coinbase account.
Oh, so yeah, that's the thing. She has a Coinbase account, so she doesn't have a private key. Yeah, that's the trick. And in a weird way,
from what I've heard, I shouldn't be giving that out.
Just checking.
This guy told me.
Oh, what else is? Man, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to show. Oh, you know what? I do. I have one more thing. There's a website that's been around forever. It's called Bitwage, BITWAGE. This is just another infrastructure thing that's been built up. It doesn't matter who you work for. You can be in the Army, the Marines, the federal government. You can work, in construction. Anyone can go and get payroll get paid in Bitcoin by using Bitwage. So basically, you just kind of pay them a certain amount of your paycheck. Like, let's say you make $1,000, you can say, hey, I want 50% of it to be Bitcoin. And they'll give you $500 worth of Bitcoin and $500 cash in your bank account, which is also kind of nice because I heard in the news just recently that I guess a certain football player has been being paid in Bitcoin for like the last couple of years, and now he's uber rich. But yes, if you work, why not take 2% of what you get paid in Bitcoin, right? So there's just, again, avenues to get it. And that's what it's really about. We have this stupid little game that we play in this space called collecting sats. Sats is short for Satoshis, which is the smallest denomination of Bitcoin, or 1/100 millionth, or 0.000, or 7 zeros and a 1. That's a Satoshi. And so that's what it's really been about, is there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. That's not enough for everybody to have one. So get as many sats as you can. I showed you my Lolli earlier, and I have gotten 190,000 sats, which just so happens to be $75. I'm hoping in $10, that'll be $750 for the same amount of sats. Sats versus dollar keeps going up. So that's what it's been about for me. And that's what it will continue to be about, is just, it's not about getting rich quick. For some people it is. I know I have a couple of friends that got hugely rich on Doge, as I stayed highly poor throughout that entire situation, because I'm not a risky person. I'm not going to put $1,000 into something that maybe might make me $1 million. I mean, I did do Bitcoin years ago, but I guess maybe that's why I'm risk adverse now, because I got scammed so many times in the last 8 years, and that's why I teach not to get scammed. but yeah, it's all about collecting the sats, being safe, slow growth.
And not giving out your key.
Not giving out your key. You just never know what'll happen. The US government truly could really start cracking down on it pretty hard. They could raise the capital gains fees higher. I mean, there's a lot of things that could really hurt the growth, not just the growth, but the price growth as well. And so that's why I'm a big believer in slow growth. Don't invest more than you can. Don't try and get rich quick. Slow growth. As always, we do have a company. We do charge for our time one-on-one, but again, I take phone calls. I try my best to email. Michael, I'm so sorry. Camping trip. I will message you right after this, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Oh, fine. Okay. Thank
you. And other than that, if anybody needs any help setting up their computer to mine, again, quick little 5-minute thing. I answer questions all day for free. I'm not here to take your money. But if you do truly need come to my house and sit down and walk through something and get access to something, learn something, do something, that's what we charge for. But if you just want to give me a call, ask me a couple questions, feel free. You can call me 12 times a week. I'm never going to charge you. It really is just text me, ask me questions. It's really just important for me to know that you guys know that there is somebody that you can ask questions to that's not going to steer you in the wrong direction. And sometimes I don't know the answer, and sorry, but I'm definitely not going to lie to you and pretend like I know.
You charge twice as much for that, right?
Right.
No. I'm actually excited. Somebody was on the last class, and he's trying to build a giant mining farm here in San Antonio. And I actually have to call him tomorrow. He's looking into ASICs, which are the more advanced version of mining. Because if you can somehow secure a couple $1 million, you can buy, maybe 1,000 ASICs, you get yourself a big field, you can earn a couple $1 million a year mining crypto. So I'm really excited that there are people that are still using like the hydroelectric power, which is a lot cheaper. I work in solar now personally as a side job, because I like to see how solar is growing versus consumption. And side note, if you don't know, it's not doing very well. Because we did this math problem for fun. 4 ASICs is nothing really. I mean, it's about $10,000 worth of computing, but 4 ASICs might make, let's say $400 a day. But the amount of solar panels, inverters, microinverters, and cordage and all that stuff you would need just to run 4 of them. Keep in mind, most giant miners run tens of thousands of these at a time in one office space, right? It would require over 100 panels just to run 4. To buy 100 panels with all the stuff would be over $100,000. And so it's crazy how far behind solar is compared to the needs of mining. And that's why, well, I didn't talk about it in this class, but that's why proof of stake is so important, to go green, to not require computers to do the work. Actually, let me show you that really quick. I've got this up. I'm just gonna have to turn my screen around. But this is just one. This is Cryptex. So this is a good example. Let me see if I got it lined up right. I'll zoom in a little. So this is one of my computers. It actually has 2 GPUs. It has 2 AMD RTX 580s. They are running at 22 mega hashes. You can see their wattage, blah, blah, blah. and they're making me about $100 per month, or $3.33 per day. This will change about every 10 seconds or so because it's always fluctuating. And at any time I want, I can come over here and I can withdraw my balance. But it's not just this one. It's this little guy down here mining. And then over here in my laptop corner, here's some more laptops. And again, these are 3070s, 3060s. They're mining. I got this guy over here. He's upside down because he gets better airflow that way. But again, so you get really addicted because it's an alternative source of revenue. If you can buy a computer for $1,000, it's going to make you $2,000 over the course of a year. Why wouldn't you? Right? And so it isn't that simple. And that's why I say don't do what I did, because you may be making $100 off one of those computers the first month, but then it'll be 90, and then it'll be 80, and then it'll be 60, 50, 40, and eventually the video cards after a couple of years will become obsolete. So you have to weigh all the mathematics. And so that's one thing I did not go into heavily about mining. Don't buy miners. Don't try and go buy some miners and build this all by yourself. You will probably mess up the math. There's a lot of math involved. It's fun though. It is a lot of fun. Do you recommend buying one share of Bitcoin today if you had the funds? That is a good question. Okay. So Virginia, I was telling this story before everybody came on. I went on Zillow and I saw how much my house was worth, and it was worth a lot more than I thought it was. And I started thinking to myself, if I sold my house today, I could buy 3 Bitcoin. So, with that now, would I at this price? That's probably what you're asking, right? Like it's 38,000. It was 40,000 yesterday. We just had a nice little dip. It's down 5% from the day before. Yeah, I believe that the next 2 years is all about accumulation. I could care less, and I'm not trying to sound weird, but I could care less if Bitcoin goes down to 30. I would buy it at 40. It could go down to 30 because my intention is not to sell it at 50. I'm not a day trader. This is something where I work full time so I can pay my bills, and so I can invest constantly in crypto. Originally, my goal was to get 21 Bitcoin because I was young, dumb, and wanted to be one of a million. I did, in fact, get 21 Bitcoin at one time many years ago when it wasn't worth very much. And then I started a company. And like I said, I've been scammed a few times. You lose money, you trust the wrong people. But no. I think there's this dumb little joke we always say. It's, when are you going to sell your Bitcoin? And the joke is, when Bitcoin's ready, you won't have to. So
Right.
It's funny, but it's true because, again, we're already at a point with these cards where you can spend your Bitcoin wherever you want. What would be really great is if we could get a government that would back it, understand it, appreciate it, not look at it as so much as a threat, but as an asset. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I fully expect a lot of countries to start really backing it. Little side note, back in 2013, I got to go to this, I go every year now, wonderful conference in Miami Bitcoin conference. Every year, wonderful conference. It can be kind of expensive, but if you can make it next year, give me a ring. I can probably get you a free ticket if you can, get the plane and stuff. I love bringing new people to conferences because it's insane. Not only do you get to see, more than one person excited, like, that guy, Jerry, that works with you, that won't shut up about Bitcoin, right? We all have a Jerry. I'm Jerry. But no, to have hundreds of Jerrys all in the same room makes you really go, huh, maybe Jerry wasn't wrong. And then on top of that, you get to see what's coming. You get to see the ICOs or the initial coin offerings. You get like a firsthand look. You get to demo things. You get first access to wallets. You get to try. And so I would really recommend going to a Bitcoin conference. In fact, Dallas usually has a really good Bitcoin conference every year in February. I've spoken at that one a couple times. It's a 4-hour drive, but It's good. Also, we are also trying to put together a Bitcoin conference here in San Antonio. It's not going to be a giant Bitcoin conference like the Miami one or the Dallas one. It's going to be free. Everything I try and do is free. Education should be free. You shouldn't have to pay $1,000 to be able to go learn about Bitcoin. So we did it back in 2018, and we're going to do it again, hopefully by the end of the year. Maybe Rhonda can, I don't know, when we're ready and we have information like really on it, maybe I can push it to you. I don't know if the library wants to push that kind of information. It's okay if you don't, but no, that's kind of always been my goal, is just put together these things where San Antonio as a whole can come together, and you can see that you're not the only guy in San Antonio that's thinking about this. And how cool is it? I highly recommend going to meetup.com. There are great Facebook groups. There are crypto meetups every week, all around the city, the Northeast, the Northwest, the Southeast, everywhere. Go to these things, meet people like you, get advice from them, and then take it in stride, because again, don't trust anyone. No, no. That's how
with anything that has value, be careful with it, because there are people that will try and take it.
But no, if you're interested in this and you want to learn more, I would highly recommend. Actually, I wrote this down for later. I did a lot of learning in my earlier years. There's still great places that are free that you don't have to go to college or pay any money to learn. Let me give you just a quick little list. Here we go. Coinacademy.co. I'll write it down actually, because, how do I type? Everyone, there we go. Coinacademy.co. These are great websites that have classes that'll teach you whatever you want to know about anything. There's also 99 Bitcoins, which, funny enough, is an Israeli company. They're from Israel, and I've met the owner of this several times at Bitcoin conferences around the world, and I've always appreciated him. I learned so much from him when I was still young, because he's been doing it for over 10 years. 99bitcoins.com, great place to learn. If you want to teach or want to feel like you're certified in this space, there is a company called the Cryptocurrency Certification Consortium, or C4. And for $40, you can take a test. And if you pass that test, you become certified to be a Bitcoin consultant / expert. There's also a secondary class that's even harder that will certify you to become a blockchain consultant and professional. And these are actually very cared about. If you want to get a job in this space, of which there are many jobs in the crypto space, you can work. There's so many jobs in this space nobody knows about. But no, these are the kind of like the basic requirements, right? You learn your basics, you take your test, you get certified. There's even Berkeley. Everybody knows Berkeley. It's a college. They have a Bitcoin course now too. So you can, if you have a GI Bill and aren't doing anything and happen to live in California right now, go to Berkeley. But oh, there goes my water. But yeah, overall, there are lots of different ways to keep learning. You don't need to pay anybody. There's a lot of people who are like, pay me $9 and I'll give you my class. Pay me $100 and I'll give you my class. You don't have to pay anything. There's so much education out there. So just yeah, don't get scammed. Michael, I got you. We'll talk later.
Well, thank you again so much for coming and doing this class and giving us your time. I know you're busy. And like I said, we'll have the NFT class on the 18th if anyone wants to join us. So I look forward to that. And thank you everybody for coming. And I hope you learned a lot. And I hope we'll see you at the next classes.